Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Saturn in Taurus in a natal chart. And some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the Saturn placements, and they were a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy, so what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up, well, Saturn is connected with the father, older people, and authority figures. So having a Saturn in Taurus in your natal chart, one or more of these people may actually may have a sun, Taurus, sun, moon, or ascendant, or embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be people that are very calm, placid, composed, persistent, patient, persevering, trustworthy. It can be one or more of those people may be in a Taurus profession. It could be, working in architecture, agriculture, geology, carpet laying, construction, even I would say art, music, anything that's Taurus related. And also, too, you have Saturn in astrology is also associated with restrictions and limitations. So people that have this placement, I have this placement, there may be some limitations, in one's self-worth, self-esteem, and how one feels about the self. It could be, sometimes it could be monetary limitations. I have Saturn in Taurus in my 12th house, so it's more tied in, to secret sorrows with me. And it's also, another thing about this, there may be limitations and restrictions in just being persistent with things, expressing, patience, perseverance, sensuality, expressing, loyalty to someone or a situation, or being steadfast. And it could be limitations in finding one's, peace and tranquility in one's life as well, and even financial stability, having stability in one's life. Now, another thing about Saturn is that it's connected with chronic issues. So if you have Saturn and Taurus in your natal chart, there may be chronic issues associated with the throat, the neck, the thyroid, the esophagus, tongue, the ears. Um, could be something like a chronic sore throat, as an example. You know, um, could be something with the thyroid, like a chronic thyroiditis. I believe that's how it's pronounced. And the other thing is, so when you have Saturn in astrology, is also the thing about this is it's associated with responsibilities. So having Saturn in Taurus in your natal chart, there may be more responsibilities than most people. Things connected with banking and finances in general. You may be someone that has to do a lot of transactions for whatever reason, deposits, withdrawals, whether it's pertaining to a business or what have you. It could be a lot of work with stocks. Maybe it's something with farming or gardening, or some examples, geology. It could just simply be working, doing something with rocks in your own yard, and also to possessions as well. There may be certain more responsibilities to acquiring possessions, or what you have to do with them, whether it could be buying or selling items, your responsibilities to your own values, and even vaults in some cases. It could be, whether you're working as some, security guard, where you have to protect some kind of money vault, or even with jewelry in some cases. Now, another thing too about having Saturn and Taurus in one's chart is that there can be, the person, the positive thing about this, that the person may remain stable and unfazed, even if he or she winds up becoming, exceptional, successful, or has a life that's flourishing and thriving. Saturn is about success, and Taurus, as you know, is connected with money. So, this could be somebody that could be successful in monetary ventures. It could be someone that might formulate, good plans, to generate income. But at the same time, if this is the case and the person does wind up, making a good amount of money, then it's less likely that he or she will be impacted by this, such as becoming arrogant or becoming, too good to associate, with people that are at a lower stature of life than him or her. Now, Saturn is also connected with laborious work in industry. So having Saturn and Taurus in your natal chart, and maybe a lot of, persistent efforts. I have, again, Saturn and Taurus in the 12th house in my natal chart. So it could be a lot of laborious, persistent efforts in solitude and seclusion. I may do my best work there. Um, and also, it might be where anything that requires a lot of effort and hard work, you may be more patient regarding it than the average person, in terms of it being completed or what have you. And the thing is, and also it's about, utilizing, it could be some endurance to accomplish things through hard efforts and labor. Doing something, it could even be just simply doing very basic, mundane work, such as, working in a retail outlet as a stock person, as an example. It could be doing something with art, which can cover a wide divergence of fields, whether it could be drawing, painting, sculpting, abstract art, as some examples. And having this placement in your chart, you may be someone that could be nearly unflappable and very composed if you have to work under a lot of duress or pressure. So, you know, and the thing about this too, um, Saturn in astrology can also be associated with one's career. So if you have Saturn and Taurus in your chart, well, you may have a career, in finance or banking, or working as a pawnbroker, a stockbroker, doing something with farming, gardening, agriculture, architecture. Could be carpet laying and doing something associated with art again, which can cover a wide divergence of fields, whether it's painting, drawing, sculpting, abstract art as some examples. And it could even be just working, doing something basic as a cashier. So now Saturn in astrology is also associated with our fears and inhibitions. So Saturn and Taurus, those fears, some of them may actually be tied into to generating a good amount of money and being affluent, because, Saturn and Taurus may worry about the drawbacks of actually becoming rich or affluent, such as others trying to use them because he or she has money. It could be we're just, being, material wealth, there may be some fear of that. And also too, it could be expressing, loyalty to someone, because, there might be some fear of being hurt if expressing this to the wrong person. Um, it might be, to even spending money, enjoying oneself, doing things that are pleasurable. These are things which Saturn and Taurus people can often fear. And another thing, and also just simply depending on others for something, whether it's some kind of resource, possession, money, or what have you. Now, Saturn in astrology is also associated with concentration. So having Saturn and Taurus, one may simply put a lot of concentration on things of a monetary nature and generating income, their finances. It could be, cultivation, gardening, farming, geology. It could, again, like I stated before, about working with rocks just in one's yard, as an example. Something with agriculture, doing something with stocks, as another example, or something of an artistic nature. It could be painting, drawing, sculpting, abstract art as some examples. And keep in mind, Saturn also is connected with despondency, sadness, sorrow. So there may be more sorrow over things of a monetary nature than the average person with this placement. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.